Okay, the time is 6:01 and we are beginning the June 25th Granite Falls School Board regularly scheduled meeting. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. And I will turn it over to Superintendent Geisler for the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Director Ledoux. We honor the first peoples of these lands by acknowledging that the area in which we gather is within the traditional territory of the Still-Squamish tribe of Indians. The Still-Squamish people have inhabited these lands and waters since time immemorial, and their descendants have remained in this territory to this day. The Still-Squamish people have continued to practice the traditional ways of their ancestors of fishing, hunting, and gathering. The Still-Squamish tribe has had these lands and cultural traditions passed on to them by their ancestors who believe that everything has a spirit and that they are the caretakers of these lands and waters.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and then in attendance tonight, we have Director Dane, Director Kincaid, Director Carey, myself, Director Ledoux, and then Superintendent Eastland. I'd like to make a motion that we excuse Director Gochner tonight.
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next we will go to board comments. We'll start down. Director Dane, any comments?
Sure. Well, an amazing event, the graduation that we had at the high school and here at Crossroads. Real positive. And one of the best parts of being on the board is being able to attend those, being able to congratulate our students for their achievements. And it was just great. And I think that the staff did an amazing job of setting it all up. So, my thanks go out to everybody. I'm looking forward to getting some stuff moving for the next school year. Pretty excited about the upcoming school year. So,
Great. Director Kincaid, comments and community report.
Not a lot to report as far as the community goes right now. Everybody's just enjoying summer and doing all the summer things, the farmers market and all that kind of fun stuff. And just kind of same comment, as Director Dane, just had a great time at the graduations. It was a lot of fun and just happy summer, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, and then Director Carey and Ledge.
Yeah. First off, I want to apologize for missing the Crossroads graduation. Really tough day, really tough traffic and stuff. But sad that I wasn't able to celebrate all of those wonderful students for their achievements. So excuse my absence from that. But it was great to be able to participate in the high school graduation. It's definitely, it's those moments sitting on stage, seeing the products of our system and all of the wonderful things that they're going to do, here, there, and everywhere, and feeling like in a small way, I was a little piece of that story. I was a little itty bitty piece of helping them get to that point, and all of the wonderful things they're going to do thereafter. It makes everything worth it. So it's probably one of the biggest things I'm going to miss one day when I'm not sitting in this chair. Actually, it's definitely going to be the biggest thing I miss. So outside of that, just legislatively, obviously the session is over, so there's not a whole lot of stuff going on there. One of the things that I would love to do kind of as I transition, obviously off of the board in January is to keep the fire going on some of the things I've done at Olympia. And I'm willing to meet with anyone or some person who wants to kind of do that, to introduce or whatever, Dana, you think is the best idea. Because I've been able to make some really good connections and stuff. And I think that there's definitely an understanding of the particular challenges that we have here in Granite related to regionalization and kind of the special things about us and the support that we need. And I feel that there's some positive momentum I would hate to lose, because people in this community need to serve that, and the state needs to step up in a bigger way to support our students in our community. So outside of that, it's summer. Yay. Excited for summer.
Cool. Thank you, Director Carey. From my side, no real updates from WIAA. From a commons perspective, yeah, graduations, those are always my favorite time of the year. And this year was actually good. We didn't have rain. It wasn't too crazy hot, unless you were inside the building. But luckily we were outside. It's always great. I love Crossroads because everybody gets their own time. And so that's great to hear. Harder to do at the high school with many, many more students. But I will say with the high school, I heard a national anthem that could rival anything at any Seahawks game, anything, Super Bowl. And that was fantastic. And so, highlight, I love seeing all the students cross the stage, and I love seeing, people like that with that talent that can just, and the bravery to just go up there and sing in front of, I don't know how many people were in the stand, but there were quite a few. And so that was fantastic. That was one of the highlights there for me, for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, she's special. And when I shook her hand, it's like, she's on Tiger Cabinet. She's a leader. She was in our recruitment video for our high school principal. I said, "Is there anything you can't do?" And she just laughed, right? And then she's really special.
I shook her hand and said, "You don't sing, you sang."
That was the most amazing thing. So, okay, so now we'll move on to item 4A, Superintendent Report presented by Dana Geeslin.
All right. A few things tonight. Maria Losi was going to try to make it to meet the board, but she knew she was finishing up. It was her last day in Edmonds too. So she was going to try to get out here, but I did put a slide in. If you could go to that next, or do I have? Slide?
I don't know if we have a bigger.
He made all the moves during the study session. And so now it's like, I'll continue on. So just some things about her. Really excited to have her start. She came out a few days and met with staff, just like Mr. Pike did at the high school. She has over 30 years of experience. One of the things we're really excited about is her experience as a senior consultant at the University of Washington. She helped write Self 5D. Instruction is her jam. And she just really is looking forward to partnering with our staff, and her passion is literacy and baking pies. That's going to make us happy on both accounts. So we're just really excited to have her here, and it's next week. So it's going to be exciting. Yesterday, I think it was, we actually got notice from OSPI that we will be having a program review. Before COVID, these were called consolidated program reviews, affectionately referred to as CPR. There's usually a cycle, and the cycle is usually 5 years. And then COVID hit, and a lot of these got delayed. And so I honestly don't know when the last time that the consolidated program review, but now just called program review, was done in Granite. I have had the pleasure of doing these. I walk into a district, every time I've walked in, it's CPR time. And so, and it's always that I was in Camas for 8 years, and I think I did 3 of them, something happened. And then I was in Edmonds for 6 years, and I did 2 of them. So very familiar with this process. And I am so grateful for all of the work from so many staff members, and I'm thinking about special education and multilingual learners and the CTE work we've done this year, because we've really unearthed a lot of things and cleaned a lot of things up, and that will be critical in this review. So the timing couldn't be better. So while it's a lot of work, the intent is to make sure that we're, dotting all our I's and crossing all our T's and doing things and spending funds as they are intended. A couple of slides on this. So the purpose is to ensure the compliance, of course, with state and federal regulations, and that we're using monies as they're intended. It's about equitable and services and opportunities for our kids. And they also provide some technical assistance. They used to do these on site. Now it sounds like we're going to give them all the documentation, and then we'll have, some meetings with them virtually, and then they'll give us some guidance. Think of it like an audit of your programs, of all of your programs. They will let us know exactly what programs they are, in a sense, looking at. And so we'll focus on those. it is a self-assessment in a way because you're providing, like you're finding the documents and you're showing that you give a home language survey every time someone registers and they mark that English isn't the first language or their home language. It's like all of those kind of checks and balances to make sure the services are as they should be. Next slide is just a continuation of this. The areas commonly reviewed are around equity and civil rights, academic supports, like supports for our English language learners, which we call our multilingual learners. The fiscal management, especially around Title I, that is one that gets scrutinized. CTE will have a significant portion that will be reviewed. And then our ML program, Title I, CTE, that they'll dive into each of those programs. And they will look, I think, about the CTE WASA review and all the work we've done to make sure that we're doing that as it's intended. And I think that is going to be great because we have the things that we need to have to give to them and show why we're doing what we're doing. It is about some transparency and that accountability, but it's all about kids and learning. So we welcome it. We will be attending they have a few webinars. We'll be attending one in August. Most of the people in this room are already on that invite. And so we'll go to that and learn exactly what we're going to do. And then we'll just wait further steps. But I wanted the board to be aware of that. Thank you, Marshall Cruz, for the pictures here. So a couple of things, some maintenance, safety, and security updates. Summer's a time that you do some walkthroughs of all buildings and grounds and see what needs attention. Some ADA considerations in all of our buildings. Granite Falls High School, the siding repair project is underway in that they are pressure washing and getting ready to do that. We want to make sure that set aside levy funds that are for capital projects specifically earmarked for that. So if you see equipment there and those kind of things, it's what the board approved a couple of board meetings ago. And then Mountain Way parking lot repair. We have, that we had that leak that blew, if you will. It had some issues and we had water on the grounds and we were able to wait till school got out so that we could patch that up. Marshall's been working really hard with insurance and back and forth on that. And I'm going to let him talk just a little bit about it because insurance is going to cover it all but one small piece, which is actually kind of hilarious. So go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, so what happened was we had a underground pipe that feeds our fire hydrants burst. It was under our property, so it's our responsibility. It burst with a hole about this big in the pipe. And the best we could diagnose, it was just maybe there was a bit of rust on the outside that was just kind of continuing to wear a little bit. And then it finally just gave way. And it kind of geysered up through the ground. It's about 8 feet underground is where the pipe is. So we worked with the city. We had the outline where all the power lines were, the water lines, the gas lines, all that stuff. Once we figured all that stuff out, the city could dial down the pressure, but they can't turn the pressure off because it's feeding fire hydrants. And so we had to let it continue to leak. Meanwhile, we were getting all the equipment in place and getting ready to do this stuff. I notified the insurance company right off the bat, but they didn't respond very quickly. But we had to get the leak to stop. So they dug it up. They found the leak. Once they found the leak, the city turned off the water while they cut the pipe. We have the pipe. It's a section about this big by this big, and it weighs, I don't know, 80 to 100 pounds. It's not an easy thing to lift. We have it on site still. We're going to hold on to it until all this stuff is done. Has a nice little hole in it. What they do is they saw off enough pipe to install a new section, and they have these clamping devices that clamp into the pipe so that it seals perfectly. They then test the pressure. They let it sit there for a while. They actually hook a stethoscope up to the pipe to see if it's shaking at all or if there's any vibration in the pipe. And that's how they know that the seal is complete. Once they found out the seal was complete, they put a little bit of gravel on it and then they stopped because we need to get approval to keep going forward with our project. There's about 15. There's probably, I think it was 15,000 square feet of asphalt that is settling because of the water that we're going to replace. The insurance company, oddly enough, says, yeah, we don't cover a broken pipe. But we cover all the damages incurred from the broken pipe. We cover the access to get to the broken pipe, but the actual replacement of the broken pipe, we're probably not going to cover that. But we had to send them a bunch of documents about why it happened, about the cause, about our history of maintenance. Like they want to know our history of maintaining a 8-foot underground pipe. How would you inspect the 8-foot underground pipe? Never. It's 8 feet underground. But it was actually comical. But the cost of actually repairing the pipe is almost nothing. The cost of, we haven't gotten the final bid for the cost of repairing the playground. The asphalt is going to be a pretty significant cost.
Yeah.
That's going to be covered by insurance.
So we're gonna buy some pipe. Go fix it. I was honestly, I was thrilled that it wasn't like sewer water, right? Like there's all these wins.
Yeah.
That was the first thing, was like, so we wouldn't have been able to have school, right? Once we knew about it. So all's well that ends well. I mean, it was about as good as it could get. And we had a water feature at field day.
Get a new parking lot.
There you go. And so then the installation of the digital visitor management, thank you to Dan Schollard. He held meetings with our admin and with all of our secretaries. So that will be on at the first of school. That will be how our visitors are badged with a state issued ID. We talked about that in the last meeting a little bit. And then there's some growth in early learning as we get bigger. So we'll have 2 classrooms that were actually designed to be early learning classrooms over on the Crossroads side. The toilets are low. There's toilets in the classrooms. And so the additional 2 classrooms over there, and some of our early learning support staff will actually move to the Crossroads office as well. So it's really exciting, and Crossroads is excited to have them. And it'll be great to have our littles on both sides of the building. So we will be adding those, but there's some flooring that needs to be laid and some carpet that needs to be torn up. It's better to have hard floors for 3 and 4-year-olds for obvious reasons. So we're excited about that. And then lastly, upcoming district and community events. This is not an all-inclusive list, but there's a lot going on in the summer. The summer is the time where you get some things done in preparation for the school year, of course. We have the Crossroads Open Doors ALE Program Manager interviews coming up. We kind of set a date, but we'll continue to look at our, our applicants and involve our students and staff in the process. We have a student-led school board forum tomorrow night at Granite Falls High School. This is a little mock run. It'll be pretty low key. We have 4 candidates that are able to make it tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Our students will be running the whole thing. I'll probably kick it off, and then there'll be, just a microphone for the candidates and a microphone for our students. We have 13 advisors to the board for next year. 2 of our seniors will be kind of facilitators, but all of our students will be asking questions. Some of them are a little nervous, so they're really looking forward to it. But in October, we'll have one before the general election. So this one will be low key. It won't be streamed or anything. We'll kind of get, kind of the run of the show, and then we'll have a little bigger one, if you will, coming up in October. The website is being updated and upgraded. There's been a team that's been working on that all year, and that will happen this summer. We have a work session that the board will find some dates to plan for that. So a date in July. We have a regular school board meeting on the 23rd. National Night Out will be on the MCE playfields because there will be a helicopter that's joining us, and they need to land it there rather than somewhere else downtown. Fall sports, we talked a little bit about that at the study session, and some possible of having a pop-up. So some sports physicals can be done on site, but check the school websites for the details of start dates for that. And thank you, Dave, for all your work getting that going. We have a new certificated staff orientation that'll happen and I'll ask the board to be stopping by and introducing yourselves. We'll give you the dates. I'll have Paris get those dates out to you. The School of Rock, the end of August. Emily's super excited to play the piano again. She's not here, so I can say that. But we will have our School of Rock, more details to come on that. Our first day of school is tentatively planned for September 3rd, pending successful negotiations and ratification of the GFEA contract. And that is what I have for you tonight.
Do we still have a budget hearing on the 23rd too?
Yes.
So when's the July board meeting? 23rd, yeah.
The budget hearing.
It's going to have to be one to have a study session maybe a week before that, or anything just to go over it in more detail than what we usually do at the board meeting.
So like the 16th is what you're thinking?
We'll find, maybe we could do it at the retreat. Perhaps we could take some time and go in
Yeah.
depth if we can back that up a little bit. We could do it there.
Yeah.
So I'll come out with it.
I think we did last year too.
I think it is. Yeah, it's kind of bringing it up. It was a good idea last year, apparently. All right, any questions?
No.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
So,
Okay, now moving to 4B, business report prepared by Marshall Cruz.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give you guys a couple of updates because nothing too exciting in there, but we're on track for the 5% fund balance. I did a new revenue update on the board report just yesterday after we got our safety net award, just to make sure we're on track. The safety net hearing was yesterday, and we were conditionally awarded $2 million, a little over $2 million, 1.61 million in high needs and 383,000 in community impact. So a little over $2 million. Opportunity for that to increase a little bit when we resubmit in August, because we'll be capturing some services that weren't captured in that. So there's a possibility for it to go up. It will not go down. It should only go and incrementally up, nothing measurable. But we are on track to hit our 5% fund balance. There are really 2 more payrolls left in the year, so it's pretty high level of confidence that I think it'll be more like 5.2%. So that future accomplishments will be well over $2 million in fund balance, which is something this district has never had in its entire life.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I will say if I'm reading it correctly, I'm probably remembering correctly from last year too. We're actually positive this time compared to last year. Last year we were negative.
We'll still go negative, because the state borrowed a bunch of money from us this month. In June, we gave the state not a no interest loan this month because it's short. Yeah, because that's what we do. We take care of each other. So they're gonna pay us back in July, but we had to loan them a couple $100,000 in June. It's already May and June are already our low apportionment months anyway. So giving up $200,000 or $300,000 in June really hurts everybody. But we'll end up negative because July and August are our 2 biggest revenue months, and they're our 2 lowest expenditure months. So it's just the way that the revenue formulas for school districts work. It will be better next year because of the change to the special ed rules of funding. We can claim known high cost safety net claims quarterly. So if we have kids attending out of state placements, we can get reimbursed quarterly for that. And we're also, $1 million of our safety net revenue will be added back into apportionment next year. We will have less safety net we can claim next year, but the revenue stream will be more fluid rather than get it all in August. So right now we have to spend $2 million. We spend $2.7 million, and then we get $2 million back in August, which is difficult for any district, much less a district our size.
Any questions, discussion? Thank you, Marshall. Okay, 4C, athletics activities annual report presented by Dave Bianchini.
Well, just in a nutshell, I thought athletics was outstanding this year. I mean, we made the playoffs in every sport but 3. Dana and I talk every Thursday basically about sports, and we made the playoffs, but in no way is our focus win at all costs. And we've talked a lot about coaching. We've talked a lot about student preparation just to get programs to where they need to be, because in all the successes that we've had in sports, and we're in a competitive league for us, because when we go out of the league, we make the playoffs, and we see teams like Camas or we see teams like Mount Baker. That shows us where, okay, we need to get a little bit further along in our training and our commitments and all of that. So those are things that I talk with the coaches about. Those are things that Dana and I continually talk about in our Thursday meetings. Go ahead and next one. So the next slide, we're part of the Emerald Sound Conference. And again, for our sports, minus a few of the schools, we are very competitive in all of our sports. Some of the unique sports, individual type sports like tennis, and we'll talk a little bit more about golf. That's where we're at a really big disadvantage, because if you look on those team lists there's Granite Falls High School and there's South Whitby High School, and those are the only two public schools that are in our league. And when we go and play other schools, Bear Creek School, we go to play Kings, we go to play Eastside Prep, those kids are at a much greater advantage in terms of just financial support, the opportunities to have private training, private coaching since they've been 6 years old. And so for our group to be competitive in this league, I think that's a big pat on the back to our coaches, to our kids, their commitment to getting better, trying to get better every single day. And so, again, all of those schools, Sands, Kings High School and Cedar Park Christian, we compete with real well. The other two schools, I mean, they are on a different level. And when you look at state rankings, Cedar Park Christian, Kings, they're always in the top 5 of the 1A state rankings. And so it's great to see that type of competition and give our kids, hey, this is where we need to be, where we want to be. But again, then we are always trying to keep up with money, and we can't do that at Granite, but we keep trying. Go ahead. Our fall sports, cheer. I don't think our cheer squad gets enough recognition. They are at every event in the winter, in the fall. Our football games, it's pouring down rain. Everybody else has got rain gear on, and they are standing there cheering on their hearts out. You go to a basketball game, they are there. Our pep assemblies, a huge shout out to our cheer squad. And again, everybody recognizes all the sports, and yay, they were successful. And I don't think the team, the coach, the girls get really recognized for the amount of commitment that they put in all year long. Sports are 9 weeks long, not for the cheer team. They keep going all year long. Go ahead, the next slide. And the one thing I really appreciate about our cheer squad and the coach we have a variety of different levels, abilities. She has welcomed all students at all different levels to come and participate in cheer. We have kids from our life skills program participating in cheer. We have kids that have participated in cheer for 8 years, just like Little League stuff. And so for that program to be that equitable and accepting of everyone, it just adds to the whole program for our fans and for our kids to be at that same level and participate. Go ahead, Curtis. So our football team, they had a really good season. They finished 7-3. We made the playoffs. We had 56 kids participate. We had 5 kids make all league. Garrett Tolan, the one in the middle there, he made all league offensively and defensively. And then Jax Goldsmith was an honorable mention. Brandon Davis, 2-time coach of the year. And then again, just quickly, great season. And a lot of those kids, all of those kids, minus Garrett, will be back next year. And the younger kids that were freshmen this year, they were pretty talented. So football's in a good spot to continue improving and growing, and certainly appreciate what Brandon is doing and coaching the staff. Go ahead. Soccer team. This was a great turnaround. Last year, We made a change in coaching, brought on Dawn and Jesse Munn. Jesse Munn's the head coach. And one of my main goals for Jesse and Dawn was really create a culture that the kids really want to be there and grow the program and make it a positive experience for them. And really from day one, when they introduced themselves to the coaching or to the athletes, they changed that culture and they did a fantastic job. The girls absolutely loved having them as coaches and loved their season. And for the 12 seniors that we had, that was really nice to see them go out in that manner where they were proud of themselves. They were happy. We have 2 kids, and this is kind of a pretty rare thing for Granite Falls to send athletes on to play. We've maybe 4 or 5 kids a year go on and play at the next level. Kaylin Miller and Layla Munoz, they're going to go play college soccer. Kaylin is playing at Everett Community College. Layla is playing at Edmonds Community College. A couple of them got recognized all conference 3rd team. Elodie Tate, she'll be back next year. And then Kaylin Miller, she was our goalie. She was also recognized 3rd team. So great season for the soccer girls. Cross country. This is one of my passions. My kids grew up running cross country. The mindset behind a cross country kid, I'm going to go run 5 miles a day and I'm at the finish line. I'm going to puke my guts out. And then the next sentence is going to say, man, that was fun. And we got to host a couple big events. We hosted the 1A through 4A district championships. It's a huge event. We had 350 kids out there. Mountain Loop invite that continues to grow. I think we had 16 schools there for that. Ben Rojas, the picture on the left there, he was a state participant, ran the 5K course over in the Tri-Cities at 17:15. He made an 8th place improvement from last year. We'll talk more about him at track. He's going to go on and run at Everett. Shelby Rising, that's not Shelby in the picture, but she also got to experience her first opportunity at the state meet too. So cross country, another big shout out to Steve Lance, coach, and just really getting those kids, the kids that don't play football or don't play kind of the sports that everybody else does, getting them involved and giving them that extra opportunity.
5.5 minute miles. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. Yeah. This is the team to watch this year. Again, last year we kind of had a bump in the road, made a change coaching midstream, and seeing the girls kind of just buy into that change. And we were at a place where the day we made the change, we got a game tomorrow, we got to practice today, and what are we going to do? Well, we had to bring in the A team and Coach Lamance and Coach Giesland, and they coached the only loss our girls have.
You know what? Go 5 sets.
No, they filled in for a couple, one practice, a couple games, one game, I think, and then we were very fortunate to get Mark Newman to coach the team, and again the girls just instantly bought into his positive outlook, his demeanor on the coaching floor, and it took a while to kind of for everybody to get to know each other, but man, that was an exciting season. They were 1 game away from state, playing over at Cedar Park Christian in a winner to state game, and all those girls basically are coming back. Velo and Curie and Georgia, they were all first team all conference kids, and Sage Bide was an honorable mention. All of them are coming back. And then Georgia, right probably middle of the year, towards maybe the spring, she was recognized as the class of 2026, one of the watch list kids. So the popularity, the little bit of publicity that we're getting
It's coming out here to Granite Falls too. And so this is going to be a special team to watch for sure. And I'm excited to get them going this year. So go ahead. Okay, so just before I go on to the winter sports, I want to go on the record. We are going to have a fall boys golf team. In no way did the golf team eliminate any curricular things that we are doing at Granite Falls High School. Because of community donations, business donations, individual people's donations, donating, whether it be equipment or money or time or whatever it is, everything for that golf program has been donated. There is no, we're not eliminating any programs. We did not eliminate any teachers. We did not eliminate anything to create the golf program. We had our golf meeting right before school got out. We had 16 kids come to the meeting, and there was 3 or 4 families that emailed me the next day that said, hey, we weren't able to make it because of XYZ. So we're looking at having 19 to 20 kids.
Wow.
Again, another opportunity for kids to get involved with. We're not taking away from the football team. There's not football players leaving the football program to come and play golf or cross-country kids or anything like that. The reason we were able to establish a golf team is a boys golf team and not a girls golf team yet. We do offer more opportunities for girls to play sports than we do for boys. So the equity issue, we're still in line with all the rules and regulations for that. But it's just, again, another opportunity for kids to get involved. And whether they've ever swung a club or not, they were excited to be at that meeting. We hired Halen Davis. He's a teacher at Crossroads. What a resume he brings to the golf program. He played college golf. He was a national champion. He coached at Stanwood High School for a number of years and really just kind of a diamond in the rough in terms of finding him and having be able to coach our golf team. And really a big shout out to Jim Haverfield and Sean McGill. They did a tremendous amount of legwork in getting this program started, finding golf courses for our kids, finding just whatever was needed. Those 2 guys in the community, they jumped on it and really got things started. So our winter sports, again, you saw cheer there. Every game, boys basketball, girls basketball, at wrestling matches, and they just continue to cheer and smile and be positive and get our crowd really excited and jacked up. So again, big shout out to the cheer. Go ahead. Boys basketball. 2 years ago, we graduated a pretty big senior class, and everybody thought, oh man, we are just going to get killed this year. 8-13, they were 3-3 in league. They made it to the playoffs. They placed second in the Chinook division. It's a pretty cool thing, really. When you get awarded the sportsmanship award, that's recognized by other teams, and so that's always good to see. A couple kids, all league. Hayden Gutierrez, senior, he was recognized as the Emerald Sound MVP. Just found out last week, Aaron Nations, who was the coach, he did resign, took another coaching spot. So we will be hiring a boys basketball coach here in the summer, and so that they can kind of get the open gyms going and start going that way. Go ahead. Girls basketball, really the same type of thing. They had 3 returners from varsity the previous year, and so everybody thought, oh man, this is going to be a rebuilding year. But our 3 seniors, Addie Haverfield, Aubrey Boyson, and Ayla Gill, they carried the team. They had great seasons. Aubrey Boyson, I know she just got recognized as honorable mention through the league. She had a year, her best year ever in any sport that she played in. She was probably the team's most valuable player. She had a great season, played any position you wanted her to play. Again, they made it all the way through the playoffs, lost in a winner to state game. But again, I'm not taking away anything from that team. But when you get to that level and you see the opponent we have to play, we also can see, okay, we've got to do a little more communication, a little more with the community little leagues and get those programs established so that when they get through middle school and into high school, we have this feeder program, because going up and playing Linden Christian and Kings and all those schools that have this feeder program, we can't compete with that. It's great that our girls got that far in the playoffs, and the experience and watching them play and the heartaches of competition is great to see. But yeah, we got a little bit of ways to go before we can compete at the state level. Go ahead. Wrestling, huge success at our wrestling. Tony Helgeson, he was coach of the year again, and he was he's coached for 100 years here, and he wasn't going to coach this year, but then the coach that we hired, he is a military guy, and he was deployed overseas, not able to get back. So Tony jumped back in and coached. Our girls program is growing significantly. This year we had 8 girls that stuck it out the whole year too. And we had 25 boys. We had 8 wrestlers make it to state this year, and that's the most in school history. For those guys that got to go and girls that got to go, it's a great experience to go down to the Mat Classic in Tacoma. They have 24 mats going on and wrestling going on all day long, and just for our kids to be a part of that. And we had Eric Diaz and Trevor make it, or Trevor made it the furthest. He was one match away from being on the podium. And so just great experiences for our kids. And you see our girls team was the Emerald Sound champions. Spring sports, again, this is our biggest season. And when we have 150 athletes and kind of spreading them out amongst the 6 or 5 sports and our unified soccer, that's where our kids are in the spring. Go ahead. So our unified soccer, what an exciting event to watch. These kids they're super excited when you go and watch them. They are competing like it is a world championship for them. And when they score a goal and they do something great, the joy that they show is something that, like, oh my gosh, it brings tears to your eyes watching them play. And we have part of the unified program is you get 2 partners, and they're not students with disabilities. They just get to be a part of the program. They're great working with the kids. They help keep the game going. A big shout out to Dee Dee Heath, who was a senior, and both of them, Elizabeth Burris, who was seniors, who worked with those kids and participated with them, cheered them on. And like they were part of a team, which when they came to school the next day after competing, you could see the pride in them as they walked through campus, just like everybody else. And so that's super awesome to watch that. Go ahead, Kurt. Boys baseball, we had 18 kids. We brought up 4 8th graders to kind of finish our junior varsity program off. Our varsity, they were non-league world champions. They won all 10 of their non-league games. Unfortunately, their league games, we didn't win one of them. And so that was one of our teams that didn't make the postseason this year. But again, you look at the second piece there on the slide, Team Sportsmanship Award. And so we're carrying ourselves the way that I would like to see, and our coaches are making sure that when we're on the field, we're carrying ourselves like we should in all athletic events. Drake Smith, first team all conference, and Carson Brooks was second team. Will Boyd was our only senior on that team. And so we're bringing back a big crew of baseball guys too. So go ahead. Girls fast pitch, another outstanding season. We had 3 of our 5 seniors. They were 5-year letter winners. Hard to see them graduate this year, just watching them for the last 5 years. Bella Fry, the pitcher right there, one of my greatest memories, and I'll take with me forever. She's in the 8th grade, and she got to pitch at the varsity level against Sultan. She strikes out her first high school kid ever. I'm not sure there were 3 outs, but she just ran off the field and jumped into her dad's arms. And so, I mean, those are the memories that when all this is said and done, their playing career, I mean, that's what really stands out for me. Addie Haverfield, first team all conference player. Natalie Klepper, first team all conference player. We got a little freshman, Anna Sully Sison, left-handed hitter catcher. She got an honorable mention. It's going to be fun to watch her play for 3 more years. And then overwhelmingly, Natalie Klepper and Bella Fry were Herald Athletes of the Week for their feats that they accomplished on the softball field. So really exciting softball season for the girls. Again, 1 game away from being at state, but we play Cedar Park Christian, who is a top 3 team in state, and that's kind of the hump we have to get over. So go ahead. Boys soccer. Boys soccer, we played a JV season this year. Just skill level and skill development is not at, especially in the league that we play in, not at the level where we can even compete with kids. And so our JVs, we hadn't won a game for a number of years, and the kids knew they were playing a JV schedule, but they got to win. They won 3 games this year, or 2 wins this year, 2 wins and a tie. And so the monkey jumped off their back there. I mean, they felt like every other team. Yay, we won. We're not the laughing stock of the school. We're not the team that every day we come to school and have to tell everybody we lost 5-0, whatever. And so that was great to see. They treated it like a win. They were jumping around, throwing water on each other, and just having like, hey, we won a game. And so the picture off there to the left, that mean mug, he's drilling that kid right in the side. So he was a senior, and the last game they end up winning. There's probably 2 minutes, under 2 minutes left in the game. The score is tied. He's the one who gets to score the winning goal to end his senior year. And when we're talking about graduation and all that, kids were asked what's their favorite memory. That was his favorite memory of just being the one to get to score that goal and knowing that he's going out with a win in soccer. Track and field, another huge year for track kids. We hosted the by-district 1 and 2 championships, 393 kids from basically Granite Falls North and our league, Emerald Sound Conference, participated in that. We had 6 athletes qualify for state. Blair Johnson, Eric Diaz, Paige Buholz, Fabian Villafane, Julian Villafane, and Ben Rojas. Ben Rojas finished 2nd in the 400 by 1/10 of a second. I mean, that's a lean, that's a click, and that's 1/10 of a second. And so a huge finish to his senior year. Boys 4x4 team finished 5th. They just got back from, they qualified in their division and their time. They went down to Oregon, track capital of the world, and they got to run in Eugene, University of Oregon stadium. They competed in the 4x4. It wasn't their best time, but what an experience to be in that environment and that atmosphere and get to see the Oregon stadium and all the history that place holds with track. And so that was pretty cool for them. Blair Johnson, she finished 6th in the state in pole vault. And Eric Diaz, we were having our senior tea, And I had a couple teachers in the back and Marshall was in the back and they had live results up and I don't know what I was saying, introducing people or whatever I was saying. And I'd look at them and I could see like, their facial expression, like, man, oh, he made it. And I mean, as soon as I announced, when they gave me the thumbs up that he won, as soon as I announced just to our senior T people, I mean, they just went nuts. Like, we have a state champion. The previous state champion was also a pole vaulter. And so big shout out to our pole vault coach. He has 2 state champions now. And then Eric Diaz's sister in 2016 was part of a 4x200 team that also won a state champion. So really just overall for track, it was a great season for him. The kids that we compete against in the Emerald Sound Conference, they're the best in the state. And when we went over to state, when we left the by-district state championships, our boys 4x4 team was 5th there. And so we go over and we finish 5th in the state over in Yakima. Blair was 2nd in the by-district champions, ends up being 6th in state. So the competition that our kids face throughout the league, that gets us ready for that level of track and field. Go ahead. Girls tennis, similar to soccer in that they played a JV schedule. They were very, very successful in their season. They only lost 1 match. The girls are growing. This is one of those sports that when we play Overlake or Bear Creek or Cedar Park Christian, all these kids, they've had tennis lessons since they've been 6 years old. And so the skill level is definitely different, but watching from day one to the end of the year and seeing the development and the growth that our kids have and the joy, they love playing tennis now. And so that's kind of pretty awesome to see. And there's the one thing I'm going to say with the tennis program is great. It's in great shape. The tennis courts, we need some maintenance on that. The poles, just after years, they've bent in. Not sure how that happens, whether they're not sunk in cement or what, but one of the courts is unusable now. And so I think all probably of the poles, the tennis poles need to be reset, cemented into the ground so that we can have a full court able to use. So that is all. And if you have any questions, here to answer them.
Any questions?
No, just hats off to all these students. Amazing accomplishments.
It's really fun to watch them. And I intentionally stayed at the middle school for a long time. I loved the middle school, but I had kids, my own kids growing up, and I wanted to make sure I could get to their events. But now that they're adults and doing their own thing, for me to be able to go to these sporting events and watch them and just see the passion. And it doesn't really matter the skill level. I mean, it could be our C team volleyball girls or baseball guys or whatever it is, just to see their passion and the struggles that they go through, the joys that they, when they find a success, they make their first basket ever. Those type of things are just like, man, that's cool.
I have a picture of Dave at a volleyball game. It was a playoff game. And we laughed so hard because it is like he is a father over there. I mean, he's cheering, but the look of relief in his face, like he's just like so happy. And it was, yeah, it's so great. Like I love that though. I love that he is just passionately watching and hoping and cheering. And so thank you, Dave, for that.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, item 5, items from the floor. Do we have any?
Nope.
No, okay. 6, unfinished business, we have none. 7, new business, we have none. And then moving on to the consent agenda, any discussion? Yes, no discussion.
Any additions?
Oh yeah, any additions? No. All right, consent agenda is approved by unanimous consent. Okay, the time is 6:55 and we will adjourn this meeting. And then chat a little bit.
I think